from an agricultural perspective, maybe slightly less challenging compared to on road, because you cannot plan for events on the road, especially in a country like ours. But regardless, right? You talk about IoT and connectivity and being able to track tractors remotely,
Right.
including diagnostics, I believe.
Right.
So what sort of, can you highlight some challenges, right? Like you have to map terrains, you have to map the overall cycle. There's a lot of challenges when it comes to just putting a tractor in the field and saying it's going to job in the next 6 hours. So
Right.
been such a lot of testing on the ground or on the what you call field. Can you share some experiences on on things that were big challenges that you have overcome in this space especially?
Basically in 2017 when we launched the first like autonomous tractor prototype, we were expecting the farmers to actually plot the boundary of the farm on a tablet. That was the first version that we had, and then we tested it with the farmers and we saw that what their reaction was. They could not figure out how which their farm is, or the top view that we gave. So then we changed our entire model to in such a way that we expect the driver to first connect his a phone to the tractor and then drive it himself on the boundary, because not every farm is a perfect rectangle or a perfect shape that could be plotted on a
Yes.
tablet. So then this they made sure that the geofencing is uh, done on a proper way, and we have a proof that you set the boundary yourself, so which is the last lane, and all that. And after that mapping is done, inside that grid formation is something that is totally dependent on what agricultural activity you're doing, which crop you're growing. We are all collecting data to put like a you can select a crop and then automatically it will form that grid pattern inside that, or else you can do it on your own. You can on your own you can decide how much gap you want between two lanes and all those things based on the local practice they have been. And yeah, so that is mapping part. And as far as automation is concerned, it's very much straightforward. That we will be definitely introducing local languages as well for the people to understand, and more a pictorial view we are going to give, so that people can understand what they're inputting inside. They're giving it as input to the tractor. And yes, that's how we are working on it.
I just want to add, one more thing there. Like, there are a lot of small challenges, which you can't foresee initially
Yes.
when you are in the design stage of the tractor. To give you one example, like our tractors, they come with proximity sensors as well as 3D stereo cameras
Mm.
for vehicle object detection. So
Right.
what we saw once happened, once we went into the field and the stereo camera got blocked because of mud, sticky mud came on the
Right.
camera. Then that affected the data that is going onto the onboard computer. And how do you fix that problem? So what we ended up doing is we ended up raising the height of that stereo camera, putting it at the very top of the hood, so that gives you a much better vantage point for that. And at that also, at the same time, what we ended up doing was, if suppose one aspect, whether the stereo camera or the proximity sensors are not delivering data to the onboard computer, then we compensate. That's something which we have to do. We have built backups into every single stage
Right.
of the tractor to account for this. I mean, it's not like one thing fails, so everything should fail. That is something which we have taken into account in our design. And obviously, as we experiment more, as Kaustubh rightly mentioned, we have been working in the field for the last 3 years now, 3 years. So we have seen a lot of small engineering challenges crop up regularly. And as the challenge crops up, then we sit down, we brainstorm, the entire team brainstorms, and we come up with a solution. And the Indian, word we use, jugaad. So that is
Yes.
something, even in the engineering sense, we have to do jugaad sometimes.
Right.